Hello, Mike coming at you again from outside. Today, short video today, um, thinking about um, telling time. You ever had to tell time when you didn't have a watch? Like maybe you're at the beach, happens a lot at the beach, at the pool, somewhere you're not wearing a watch, you don't even have your phone, you don't even know what time it is. Um, you can tell the time using a sundial. And I was just going to show you just by putting this stick in the ground here. The only thing you need to know is where north is. If you can find north, then you can find um, the directions based on the shadow, which is the way the sundial works. Um, so, looking now, if you first thing you need to do is find north. And what I did was, if you may already have a good idea where north is, when you're facing north, east first to your right, west to your left, south behind you. Um, and sometimes we already know, like Pittsburgh, from where I live, is in the west. They always head out that way, and I know the sun comes up over the hill in that direction. So a lot of you already know. But one thing you could do is use a compass. We do use a compass in some of my after-school activities. Some of you in Southmoreland and Laurel may remember that. There's a lot of things you can do with the compass, but one thing is finding north is you notice there's an arrow that swivels, and then there's either an arrow or a line painted on the bottom that doesn't move, that moves as you turn. So when you want to find north, what you want to do is you want to line up the floating arrow with the um, put north and turn until the floating arrow is pointing in a northern direction. So you have the north. You turn so the north is facing the direction you want to go, and you put it flat in your hand, and you turn your whole body until um, until it lines up. That way, you'll find which way north is. So that's one thing you can do with the compass, just to find north. So once we know that when we know which way north is facing, um, then I put this pole here to take a look as we're facing north. You take a look to see where the shadow is falling. And if you think of it more as I'll spray paint it here for you so you can see um, when it's coming out. 1, 3, 5, 6. So if you picture a clock when you're looking down at the ground, you're going to picture a clock. Let's see if I can put some numbers on that, some lines on the ground there, um, showing that if it was a 1 o'clock while you're facing north, then the line will be coming just a little bit to the right. 3 o'clock will be to your right. Then 6 o'clock will be more towards behind you. So we can see with this one, if you see where that, try to tell where that line is there. I got the black line, and this is the shadow line right here, way out there, which is pointing down to about 5 o'clock. Um, and that way it can get you, it's not completely accurate, but it can get you usually within half an hour. So get a general idea what time it is. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that you could do that without a sundial or without carrying around a stick. You can use your body. Right now, see my shadow behind me? See if I get it up. See where my shadow of the computer and me? So as long as I'm facing north, then I will use my shadow, which is almost straight behind me, which would be 6 o'clock. as it's coming up towards 6 o'clock. So it's about 5:30 right now. I'm closing in on 6 o'clock. And you can tell that just by looking at where the shadow is located. I can't tell from looking at my screen whether you can see that or not. Um, Sundials work because they're designed, they're always, as long as they're facing north, any stick will work. That will show you um, the direction. That'll give you, tell you the time. So this could be very useful, like I say, when you're at the beach, the playground, somewhere we don't have your phone, and um, generally, and as you do it, you get a good, better feel for north, south, east, and west. And if you're somewhere like at the beach, you know that up the beach is, probably in the northern direction. To the right is east, south behind you, so you can kind of orient yourself to north that way. Some people use like landmarks, like I said, like Pittsburgh. When Greensburg is one direction, Ligonier is the other direction, and your house, is doesn't move, your house or your apartment or wherever you live. So a lot of people know where north and south, east and west is just based on where their apartment is. Um, so that's something that I've always found very, very useful to me, and just wanted to mention that to you. Um, the other thing that I was just mentioning was sometimes we get sticks fall in our yard under the tree. A lot of sticks will fall, and um, it's the job of the kids and me. I help a lot to pick them up. Um, which in the picking up, like deciding how to pick those up. If you could think of another way to pick things up instead of using your hands and bending over. So that's a task. Is necessity is the mother of invention, meaning that uh, it's when you have a problem, you try to use science, technology, engineering, or math to solve it. So if you hated to pick up sticks and you had a nice big tree like this one we're coming up on here, maple tree here, I always have to pick up the sticks so we don't run over them with the mower. You can see I just picked up a pile and put them on that table there. Um, Sometimes I burn them, sometimes I save them for camping. But you see a whole bunch of sticks here. Um, Instead of bending over and picking those sticks up, you can see on the table there's a bunch of sticks. Can you think of a way that could help get the sticks up into a wheelbarrow or up into a box without having to bend over? What could you use? What do you have around the house that you could fashion or design to maybe help you or help your parents in picking up sticks? Because that's would be a huge help. So those are the two things. I want to pick this up. Those are the two things I want to talk about today. Using your engineering mind to try to think of a way to solve a problem, and also just utilizing the sun. Doesn't work as well when the sun's not out. That's why I wanted to do it tonight because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure I had it while the sun was out. So you just need to figure out how to find north using a compass. Like I said, a review on the compass. You point, line up the N, put the N in the direction you want to go, hold it flat in your hand, turn your body until the moving arrow lines up with the painted arrow on the bottom, and now you know which way north is. And you know which way east, west, and south behind me. And that gives you a better idea. And then you can use your shadow to help tell the time. But thank you for tuning in with me. Hope you're having a wonderful start in the summer. Thank you very much. Find my, there it is.